Hello everyone. When we talk about the SAP Mobile development for the first time, I said that the theme of SAP Mobile development is to enable the users to access to the online resources. Also, I showed you an example of accessing to the central database in an enterprise system. What if we want to access to the information on third-party website? For instance, I want to create an app for the salesperson in my company. I want them to be able to type in the zip code and then find the city where they plan to travel and find the weather forecast for that city. Obviously, a company will not host the weather forecast information in their own system. So what we want to do is to access to a third-party website which has the weather forecast information and then bring the information back to the user's mobile devices. How can we complete this app? First of all, we want to find the website online which provides the weather forecast information. And then we want to access to the website and then bring the information back to the user's mobile devices. In practice, there are several websites that provides the free access. Here I found one. Let's take a look at the website first. Now you can see this website provides three options, three types of service to the developers. The first one is weather forecast by the city's zip code. The second one is the current weather information by the city's zip code. And the third one is other weather information. Let's try out the city weather by this zip code. We want to find the real-time weather forecast. Click on it and then type in some example zip code. Let's try the weather forecast for Commerce, 75428. And then click Invoke. Now you can see we are accessing to the website. We try to retrieve the weather forecast for Commerce, Texas back to the web browser. Here is the current weather information for Commerce, Texas. As you can see, it shows temperature. It also shows humidity, the wind, and some other information. As the website tells us, this collection of information is an XML file. Do you still remember the function of XML file? We talked about the XML file when we discussed the user interface design for Android apps. I told you that the major function of XML is to organize data and carry out data and deliver the information over the internet, right? This is a major function of XML file. So here we can see a real case, a real example, how to use XML file. The website wants to organize all information, the weather forecast information for Commerce, Texas, into the well-structured XML file, and then deliver it over the internet. For developer, as long as we can interpret the XML tag in the future. For instance, if you want to apply this information in an app, as long as you can interpret the XML tag in the mobile app, then you can understand the meaning of each XML tag, and also you can find the information, the right information. For instance, what 79 represent. By reading the XML tag temperature, we understand 79 shows the current temperature for Commerce, Texas. And then we can show 79, the current temperature on the user's mobile device. So that's why we want to use XML file when we deliver information over the internet. As an SAP Mobile developer, we want to create some mobile business object in the SDK that is able to interpret the XML tags and then show the meaningful numbers such as the temperature, the wind speed, the humidity information to the mobile users. Now let's work on this project. But before that, I want to introduce a new concept to you. It's called a personalization key. When we design the mobile business object for the employee information app and the travel request app, when we design the controls in the user interface design process, we use a lot of keys. As I told you, a key in SAP Mobile SDK is the ID to name and define a control. It is a tedious work when we define the keys. For instance, we have to select the data type. We have to give a name over and over again. So why don't we use an easier way to define a key? The easier way is a personalization key. A personalization key is a developer-defined ID for the controls in the SAP Mobile SDK. Developers can also define the data type for the values that the control will hold, the default value of the control, and how the control will be stored in the memory system. Will the control occupy the memory for a long time or just for a temporary time? When we create the name for the personalization key, we usually follow a naming convention. We want to add uppercase PK before the ID of the control. For instance, PK confirm button, and then we use underscores to connect PK with confirm with button. PK employee first name. That could be a text box where we input or view the employee's first name. The personalization key is a new concept. I think it's always good to practice the new concept by using some real examples. So now let's work on the weather forecast app. And also during the process, we will use the personalization key in the app. Let's launch the SAP Mobile Workspace. The first step I want to do is to make the connection between my SDK with the third-party website, which provides the free access to the weather forecast information. So move to the lower left corner and find the Enterprise Explorer. Under this Explorer, find the Web Service option, Web Service. And right-click on Web Service folder. Right-click on it. And then in the menu, choose New. In this window, let's give a name to this new connection. Let's call this Weather Connection. So in the name box, change the name to Weather Connection. And then click Next. In this window, we want to choose from URL to tell our SDK that we want to receive the information from a website. So now you can copy the website, copy the web address into the box under from URL. Click Next. Now you can see the information about the new connection. The name of this connection is called a weather connection. Our SDK will connect with the web address. Now click Finish to save this connection. Now if you go back to Enterprise Explorer, under the Web Service folder, you will find the new connection we established. Right-click on Weather Connection, and then choose Connect in the menu. If you go back to the Enterprise Explorer, under the connection, you can find the new connection we just created. Click the little triangle next to Weather Soup, and then you can find the 3 options that this website offered. We can search the weather forecast by the city's zip code, the current weather information by the city's zip code, and other weather information. We made the connection. The next step is to publish the connection on the mobile server. So in the future, when the user downloads the app on their mobile devices, the connection will also be downloaded. How can we publish the connection? We use the mobile business object. So let's create the MBO. Click on File, and then choose New, and then choose Mobile Application Project. Now you should be very familiar to the MBO creation process. So let's give a name first. Let's call this S30500D Weather App. When you create your app, you should change S30500D to your ID number. And then click Finish. Now in the Workspace Navigator, you can see the new project we just created. Also in the workspace, you will find a blank area. This area will hold the mobile business object we will create soon. In our example case, let's create an app that shows the current weather information for a city. So let's drag the second connection, get city weather by ZIP, to the workspace. Click OK in this window to confirm the choice. This is the preview window. Now we can type in some example zip code to try out the connection actually. So let's click on the preview button. Here you will see a ZIP option. The current value is null, which means there is no value in the connection. Let's try some sample zip code. Let's try 75428. And then click Preview. And then click OK. Now the SDK is connecting to the website, and then you can find the information, the weather information for the city with zip code 75428. So as you can see, the city is Commerce, Texas, and the current temperature is 79 degrees, and the humidity is 53%, and so on and so forth. It looks like the connection works very well. Also, if we want to save the weather information for the city with the zip code 75428 as the default value, check Save as Default Values, and then click Preview again, and then click OK. So next time, if the user didn't enter any zip code, he will still see 75428 in the zip code box. Now let's click OK to save the change. As you can see in the preview, we have several unwanted values, such as the pressure or the visibility of the city. How can we not show the information, the unwanted information, on the user's mobile phone? We need to modify the XML file we retrieved from the website. Click on XSLT1 and then click on Edit button. Now you can see all the XML file and also the information are organized according to the XML file. So you want to choose Generate XSLT from a response message elements selection. Choose this option. Now you can uncheck the unwanted values. For instance, pressure, visibility, remarks, all this information that we don't want to show to the user. And then click OK. Make sure you kept all the information you want to show to the mobile user. For instance, the city name, the weather forecast station, temperature, the wind speed, and so on and so forth. Now you can click OK to confirm the change. So in the future, the user will not see the pressure information or visibility information of Commerce, Texas. Now click Next. Click Next again. This is a very complicated window, but don't be scared. This is not as scary as a horror movie. What this window tries to tell us is the SDK creates a corresponding relationship between the information on the website and the information on the user's mobile device. The information list on the left shows the information on the website. The information list on the right shows what they will be in the mobile app. For instance, we will retrieve the city name from the website and then save the city name as a string type data in the mobile app. So this just shows the corresponding relationship between the information on the website and the information on the user's mobile app. Don't be scared. Next, we want to click Next again. At this window, we want to click Finish. Now you can see we created a mobile business object in the workspace. As you can see in the whole app, the most important part is the zip code. If the user can see the weather information, depends on if the user input a zip code, if the zip code is correct. So why don't we use the concept we just learned, the personalization key, to create an ID for the zip code. So in the future, when we design the user interface part, we can retrieve the zip code by using the personalization key. Double-click on the folder in the Workspace Navigator. Or you can click the little triangle next to the folder name, and then find the personalization key. Right-click on it, and then choose New in the menu, and then choose Personalization Key. Now you can see the new personalization key window. Let's create a PK for the zip code. Let's call this PK_ZIP. Every zip code consists of 5 numbers. So let's choose string. Let's choose string, and then we have a %n, right? Choose string %n. And then change the number to 5. Also, we want to uncheck the nullable option. Let's give it a default value. Let's call this 75428. And then we want to choose the storage type to transient. And then click Finish. Now if you click the little triangle next to Personalization Keys folder, you will find a pk_zip. This is the ID number we just created for the future zip code. Now let's save the project. Let's go back to the mobile business object in the workspace. If you look at the MBO, there's no zip code in it. So we cannot make the connection between the user's input and the dataset we retrieved from the website. We want to create a role in the MBO so that the mobile app will understand which zip code the user just created. Select the MBO and then click Properties, and then choose Attributes, and then choose Attributes Mapping. Under this option, click Add. Now you can see a new role show up in the list. Double click on the name and change it to zip code, ZIP-CODE, and then uncheck the nullable option. Under the data type, change the number 20 to 5, and then save the project. Now click the Load Arguments. And then under the personalization key, let's choose pk_zip. This is the ID we just created for the future control, where the user inputs the zip code. So now we make the connection between the user's input and the weather information database on the website. Next, we want to choose the value for the Propagate to Attributes option. Click on the little triangle and then choose ZIP code. Now click Refresh and then click Yes. Now we want to choose the Object Queries option. Click Add. In this window, for the name option, type in Find by Zip. And then under Parameters, click Add. Now you can see a new row. Double click on parameter 1 and change it to Zip Parameter. And then change the data type from string 20 to string 5. Uncheck the nullable option, and then map to, we choose zip code. This is the most important part. Be sure to choose zip code. I will explain later. And then click Generate. From this SQL statement, the select statement, you can understand what we try to do is to find the information according to the zip code. Because we just mapped the zip code, ZIP code, to the PK-ZIP. So whatever the user gives to us, we will bring the value to the app, and then use this select statement to find the weather information for the zip code that the user just input on the app. So this is the purpose of this window. Next, you want to select the return a single object. We only want to show one collection of weather information for a city. And then click Finish. Let's save this project. And then click the blank area in the workspace, any blank area, and then choose Deploy Project. Make sure the update is selected. Make sure the package name with your ID number, and then click Next. Make sure these two objects are selected, and then click Next. Click Next again, and choose the domain. The domain for this class should be C305. In your window, if you see a connect button instead of fresh, click on the connect button and then choose C305 from the domain list. Choose admin as the security configuration option and then click next. For this window, click next again. In this window, we want to make the new connection. Click the cell next to weather connection. Then click the little triangle and then choose new server connection option. Make sure we want to connect to the weather connection we just established. And then click OK. Now click Finish. The MBO is being published to the mobile server. Click OK in the success window. We publish the MBO, which means when the app is downloaded by the user, the connection with the website that provides the weather forecast information will also be downloaded. So the user can input some zip code and then start looking for the weather information on the website. We publish the MBO. We are ready to create the user interface for the mobile app. Now let's click File and then choose New. This time let's choose Hybrid App Designer and select the app project we just created, the S30500D Weather App. And then for the file name, let's give it a name. Let's call this S30500D Weather. And keep the .xbw extension name. And then click Next. Choose Can Be Started on Demand from the client. And then click Finish. Now you can see the Hybrid App Designer introduction window in the workspace. Click the Flow Design window. The most important step in this window is to set up the connection between the mobile app with the mobile server. So left click on the blank area in the workspace. Remember, left click on the blank area. And then click Properties. And then choose Authentication. If you cannot find this option, click on the little triangle to scroll down the list of properties. Then you will find the Authentication. Click on Authentication and then scroll down to the bottom. In mobile server domain, type in C305. C should be in uppercase, and then save the project. Now your app will know where to find the information. Every time when the user type in a zip code, the app will send the zip code to C305 mobile server. Still in the Flow Design window, go to the Workspace Navigator. Find the Mobile Business Object under the Project folder. Click the little triangle next to Mobile Business Object folder, and you will find Get City Weather by Zip. Drag the Get City Weather by Zip MBO to the workspace. Now you can see two new windows show up in the workspace. One is Get City by Zip Code, another one is Get City by Zip Code in detail. We can see in the Flow Design window, there is no connection between the Start screen and the Get City Weather by Zip screen. We want to make the connection. So we need to go to the palette window on the right and then choose Go To option. Click on Go To and then click on Start. Don't release the month and then point it to Get City Weather by Zip. If you make the wrong connection, you can delete this connection. Right-click on the black arrow, and then choose Delete. And then you can choose Go to option and make the connection again. So now we make the connection between the start screen and the Get Weather by Zip Code. Let's modify the start screen. Let's add a title for this app. Double-click on Start, and then choose the HTML view control in the palette window. Click once, and then go to Start window, click once again. Let's give this new control a key. Click Properties, and then under General, click New Key. Let's call this Start HTML View Key. Choose the data type as a string, and then click OK. Now you can type a title as the default value for this control. Let's say this is a weather forecast app. Because this is a HTML view, you can also add the HTML code in the default value. You can use the color or the font size, font family to change the appearance of weather forecast app. Next, we want to modify is the menu item. We want to give the user a button so that the user can click on and switch the screen to the next screen. Select Open Get City Weather by ZIP, and then click Properties. Under General, for the name option, change the default name to Select City by Zip. For the type, we want to choose Open Type. For the screen, we want to make sure the Get City Weather by Zip window will be open. And then save the project. Now let's switch back to the Flow Design window. We want to modify the Get City Weather by Zip screen. Let's select the Get City Weather by Zip screen, and then click Screen Design. Select the list view, and then delete it. You can right-click on the list view, and then delete it. What we want to do is to add a text box, so that the user can input the zip code. Go to the palette window and select the edit box under Controls, and then click on the Get City Weather by Zip once, and then type in enter zip. This will be the label for the edit box, and then save this project. Next, select the edit box, and then click Properties. Under General, choose New Key. Click on it. We want to give it a key to this edit box, or an ID for this edit box. You can keep the default name or give it a new name. Let's just keep the default name, enter_zip, and then click OK. Now you can see the edit box get a new ID. It's called enter_zip. Next time, if you want to access to the value in the edit box, you want to choose enter_zip as the key of the edit box. You can also type in some default value for this edit box. For instance, 75428. If the user didn't input anything, he will still see a zip code 75428. Now let's save this project. Now let's click the empty area in the Get City Weather by Zip screen. Click on it, and then click Properties. And then we want to change the name of this screen. Get city weather by zip is too long for the general user, right? Let's just change it to city. And you can keep this key for this screen. It doesn't matter. Next we want to modify is the submit button. Click on submit. And then click properties. And then choose general. First let's give it a new key. Let's call this button current weather. Current_weather. And then we want to change the text on this button. Let's also call this current weather. So now you can see the text on the button changed to current weather. Remember the key, you cannot put any space for a key or an ID for a control, but you can have a space in the text that you want to show on the button. So this is the difference between name and the key. For the type option, choose online request. Also scroll down the screen a little bit and then choose invoke object query. Under object query, choose find by zip we just created. Uncheck the box before generate old value keys. And then save the project. Next, you want to select the success/error. Select this option under the properties. For the default success window or default success screen, you want to choose get city weather by ZIP detail. This means if the user input a valid zip code, the user should see the next screen, see the weather information in detail. Now save the project. Next, click on parameter mappings and then select the ZIP parameter. Do you still remember what this is? This is the select CQ language we just created. So select the ZIP parameter and then click edit. Under the key option, we want to choose enter ZIP. So the value the user input into this box will be given to the select CQ language. And then the CQ language will search the database online and find the weather information. Now click OK. Next, we want to click on the personalization key mappings. Select the pk_zip and then choose edit. Under this key, choose the enter_zip as well. Now click OK. Now save the project. Let's click on Flow Design window. We want to modify the detail page. Select the Get City Weather by ZIP detail and then click the Screen Design. Looks like we have an extra unwanted value, success. Just select this and then right click on it and then choose delete. If you scroll down the detail page, you will find some boxes are extremely large. For instance, state takes a lot of lines. We don't want the state is too large. We just want to use one line to show the state, city, and weather information. Oh, we have one more unwanted value response. Just select this edit box and then right click on it, choose delete. We don't want this. Let's save the project first, and then I will show you how to change the space for each box. Select the state first, and then choose advanced. Now you can see the number of lines is 3. Just change to 1, and then click the workspace. Now the state information only takes 1 line. You can repeat the same steps to other boxes, like the city box, temperature box, relative humidity box. I will not repeat here. At home, you can change the space that each box takes. The last step is to publish the app. Let's click on the flow design and then right-click on the blank area. Choose Generate Hybrid App. Make sure all the options are selected, and also you need to find your ID in the user list. If you cannot find it, click Get Users, and then in the click on the little triangle, you will find your ID number show up in the list, and then click Finish. Now the app is being published to the mobile server. Now you can see the app is published on the mobile server. You can test the app on your mobile device. In today's lecture, we studied two important concepts. The first one is personalization key. We basically define the metadata for a control in a mobile app by using the personalization key. We want to define the data type of a control, the default value of a control, and then we want to use the personalization key to find the control and then make the connection. Secondly, we learned how to access to the third-party website by using the web service function. Please follow the steps in this video to create your weather forecast app. After today, I believe you have a better sense about the theme of SAP Mobile development. I told you access is the theme. So I showed you how to access to the online database, how to access to the SAP database. Today I showed you how to access some other online resources, like the information on a third-party website. As you can see, we never develop any database in the mobile app. What we just want to do is to access the information on the online database in the SAP mobile app. So that's why I told you the theme of SAP Mobile should be access. Access to the central database, access to the third-party website. This concludes today's lecture. I will see you soon in the next one.